Sisters and brothers, we are just 10 days away from Christmas. The church echoes her sentiments this Sunday by naming it the Gaudete Sunday. In Latin, Gaudete means to rejoice. It is an imperative, a command. You must rejoice. It is taken from the first sentence of the second reading of today. Thus, we make our own the words of St. Paul's letter to the Philippians. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. The Lord is near. Joy is also reflected in the lighting of the candle of the Advent wreath. The rose-colored candle, the symbol of joy. The readings of today tell us the reasons why we should be joyful. In fact, today's liturgy is a joyful outburst. The readings point out that to rejoice is a Christian obligation. Unfortunately, joy is one of the most neglected Christian obligations for many. Let us look at some of the statements from today's readings. Paul, writing to the Christian community at Philippi, tells them, rejoice in the Lord always, always. Again, I will say rejoice. Was Paul sitting on a bed of roses when he commanded the Christians to rejoice? This very personal letter was written during Paul's imprisonment in Ephesus. And imprisonment is not the best time to rejoice. Yet, in this short letter, the theme rejoice appears at least 16 times. Paul was able to convert even his imprisonment into a joyful experience. What is the reason? His awareness of the presence of Jesus in his life. A similar sentiment is expressed by Prophet Zephaniah, who wrote during one of the most decadent periods of the history of Israel. He says, shout for joy, exult with all your heart. Twice he states that despite the sad things that are happening around them, God is in their midst. Yes, God is in the midst of our sad and tragic events too. An important person that the church proposes to us during these days of preparation for Christmas is John the Baptist. For 2 Sundays, last Sunday and today, the spotlight is on John the Baptist. In fact, all 4 Gospels agree that there is no Gospel story without John the Baptist at the opening. In today's Gospel, John the Baptist puts forward practical ways to be happy and to prepare ourselves for Christmas. People ask him, what should we do? Look at the answers. They are tailored to the context of those who question him. To the general public, he answered, share your food and clothing. And to the local administrators and politicians, he would say, ask no more than the official tax and stipulated fees. Don't fill your pockets with the taxpayers' money. No bribes and no cheating, no commission. To the soldiers and police, he would say, no intimidation, no extortion, and no violence. Be satisfied by your regular salary. Thus, Luke shows another side of John, who is an accommodating and reassuring person. Our traditional picture of John is a rustic, wild prophet breathing out God's vengeance upon people. That goes contrary to what Luke presents him today in the Gospel. In his openness to sinners and his simplification of what is required for salvation, he is definitely a worthy predecessor to Jesus, who preached the parable of the prodigal son. These days, when the publicity of the business establishments bombard us with the impression that joy is the equivalent of pleasure and accumulation of materials which can be bought, the fact is that the lasting joy comes from the relationships that are fundamental. Friends, to conclude, I would like to quote an incident narrated by Vincent Norman Peale in his bestseller Power of Positive Thinking. He was one day traveling in a train and he was sitting opposite to a couple, a husband and a wife. The lady was expensively dressed but was having a most unpleasant time with herself. Rather loudly she proclaimed that the pantry car was dirty, the service abominable, and the food most unpalatable. She complained about everything. Her husband, on the contrary, was a genial, affable person who could take things as they came. To change the situation, he started a conversation with Peale and told him that he was a lawyer. Mr. Peale asked, "What does your wife do?" "She is in the manufacturing business," he replied. Peale asked him, "What does she manufacture?" "She manufactures," reply was, "she manufactures unhappiness for her and for others." The husband's witty remark highlighted the irony of her situation, as she was inadvertently contributing to the unhappiness she was complaining about. The greatest Christmas gift to your family and to your community members is me or you, full of joy, full of love, and full of peace. A person with joyful and positive thinking. Christmas gifts are wrapped in glittering and expensive packing. Those will not last long. The gifts that will last are you, the best person that you, the joyful, positive thinking person. God is near. Jesus is near. God bless you. Amen.